In the ancient world, before the great flood reshaped the earth, humanity was young, but a shadow was already growing. The book of Genesis, chapter 6, presents us with one of the most mysterious and debated passages in all of Scripture. It speaks of a time when the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took them as wives. But who were these sons of God? And what was the nature of this union that it would provoke the judgment of heaven itself? Imagine a world shrouded in mystery, a world of vast deserts, towering mountains, and cities built of ancient stone. It was a time of legends, where the barrier between the earthly and the divine seemed almost permeable. The human population was growing, and with it, a darkness began to fester in the hearts of men. Genesis tells us that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. Yet, amidst this growing corruption, there was also beauty. The daughters of men, born into this tumultuous world, captivated the eyes of these mysterious beings. The phrase sons of God, or B'nai Elohim in Hebrew, has puzzled scholars for millennia. Three primary interpretations have emerged, each offering a different lens through which to view this enigmatic event. The first, and perhaps the most ancient, is the fallen angel view. This interpretation suggests that the sons of God were divine beings, angels who rebelled against their created purpose. Compelled by lust, they descended from the heavenly realm, abandoned their posts, and entered into forbidden unions with human women. This view is heavily supported by ancient non-biblical texts like the Book of Enoch, which describes these celestial beings teaching humanity forbidden knowledge, leading to widespread chaos and corruption. According to this perspective, these unions were a profound act of spiritual rebellion, a defilement of God's creation that blurred the lines between the divine and the human. The offspring of these unions were the Nephilim, described as mighty men of old, men of renowned giants who filled the earth with violence. Finally, there is the royalty view. This interpretation posits that sons of God was a common title for kings, rulers, and nobles in the ancient Near East, powerful dynastic rulers, claiming divine right to rule, began to build vast harems, taking any woman they desired. Regardless of her status, this was an abuse of power on a massive scale. These tyrannical kings and their offspring, the Nephilim, were mighty warriors who oppressed the people and filled the earth with violence. Through their endless conquests and cruelty, the sin, in this case, was not supernatural interbreeding or spiritual compromise, but the unchecked pride and lust of powerful men who saw themselves as gods on earth, defying the true God in heaven. This view sees the story as a critique of tyrannical human power and the social injustice that plagued the antediluvian world. Regardless of which interpretation one holds, the outcome remains the same. The earth was filled with violence. The wickedness of man was great. Genesis 6-5 paints a stark picture. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. The unions, whether angelic, mixed lineage, or royal, were a catalyst. They represented a fundamental breakdown of order, a rebellion against the divine design. The world had become a place of darkness, a corrupted masterpiece. And so, the heart of God was filled with pain. The narrative tells us he regretted that he had made human beings on the earth. This deep sorrow led to a divine decree. Judgment was coming. A cleansing was necessary to wash away the stain of sin that had saturated creation. God declared, "I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created, and with them the animals, the birds, and the creatures that move along the ground, for I regret that I have made them." A flood of epic proportions was being prophesied, a cataclysm that would reset the world. The era of the Nephilim and the sons of God was drawing to a close, drowned beneath the waters of divine justice. Yet, even in this declaration of judgment, there is a glimmer of hope. Genesis 6-8 introduces a pivotal figure, but Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. In a world consumed by evil, one man and his family remained righteous. Noah stood as a testament that even in the darkest of times, faithfulness is possible. He was the exception, the remnant through whom God would preserve humanity and fulfill his ultimate plan of redemption. Noah was chosen to build an ark, a vessel of salvation that would carry the future of life through the storm of judgment. The story of the sons of God, the daughters of men, and the coming of the flood is more than just an ancient tale of giants and judgment. It's a profound exploration of sin, rebellion, and the holiness of God. It serves as a powerful warning about the consequences of blurring divine boundaries and compromising with a fallen world. Whether it was angels abandoning their station, a godly line diluting its faith, or kings usurping divine authority, the core issue was a rejection of God's order. It teaches us about the gravity of sin and the depths of God's grief over his broken creation. It reveals that God is not a distant, indifferent deity, but a relational creator who is deeply pained by human evil. The mystery of Genesis 6 continues to fascinate and challenge us. It forces us to confront difficult questions about the nature of the spiritual realm, the reality of evil, and the severity of divine judgment. Each interpretation provides a unique perspective on the profound brokenness of the pre-flood world. The fallen angel view highlights a cosmic rebellion. The Sethite view emphasizes the danger of spiritual compromise. The royalty view warns against the corrupting influence of unchecked power. Perhaps elements of truth exist in all three. What is certain is that the world had reached a point of no return. The wickedness was so pervasive, so absolute, that only a radical act of uncreation and recreation could set things right. The stage was set for the flood, an event that would forever mark the history of humanity and stand as an eternal symbol of both the justice and the mercy of God. It's a sobering reminder that while God's patience is long, his justice is certain, and through it all, his plan for redemption endures, carried safely in the ark, floating on the very waters of judgment. Thanks for watching. If this exploration of ancient mysteries fascinated you, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the secrets of the past.